This is for methods. It's 2019 VCAA Exam 1 question number 5. So I have this truncus. It's got all real numbers except for the vertical asymptote. Evaluate f of -1. So f of -1 is going to be 2 over -1 minus 1 squared plus 1, which will be 2 over 4 plus 1, or 1 plus a half, or 3 on 2. Okay, sketch the graph labelling the asymptotes with their equation. So I've got asymptotes at x equals 1 and y equals 1. So I've got asymptotes at x equals 1 and y equals 1. And I know that at -1 it's equal to 3 on 2. Which means symmetrically at 3 it's going to equal 3 on 2, and it's a positive truncus. It's not going to have any x-intercepts, we will have a y-intercept, so let's work out what that is. So f of 0 will equal 2 on top of -1 squared plus 1. 2 on 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 1, or 3, which means that will also be a coordinate at 2 and 3. And 3 and 3 on 2, and -1 and 3 on 2, and now I'm ready to sketch. It's going to be asymptotic towards the asymptote of y equals 1, and go through those 2 points, and it's going to be asymptotic and go through those 2 points. And I don't like the fact that that's curled away a little bit, so I rub that bit out, and I will then redraw it so that it approaches the asymptote. And I might do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so there's my graph. That's f of x. The question then says find the area bound by the graph of a line x equals -1, y equals 0. X equals -1 and y equals 0. So I'm looking for this area in here. Okay, so that's a positive area. So the area will be the integral from -1 to 0 of 2 bracket x minus 1 -2 plus 1 dx. Okay, that's going to equal 2 x minus 1 to the -1 divided by -1, and there's also a 1, plus x from -1 to 0, which will be -2 on top of x minus 1 plus x from -1 to 0, which will be, putting in the 0, -2 on top of -1 plus 0, then putting in the -1 minus -2 on top of -1 minus 1, and then minus 1. That gives me a 2. This gives me a -2 and a +2. So that's going to be -1. And then I've got +1, which gives me an answer of 2 square units.